So if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that I usually try to meal prep, if nothing else, breakfast on Sundays. Today's actually Saturday evening, and I've had this idea for some pumpkin dark chocolate chip bagels. So I'm going to make the dough this evening. I'm going to let it sit out on the counter covered until we go to bed tonight, and then I will pop it in the fridge overnight, and in the morning I will portion out my bagels and make them. But let me show you what I'm going to use for the dough. I'm basically using the My Busy Kitchen recipe for pizza dough, but I'm going to switch out the plain non-fat Greek yogurt for some of this pumpkin pie light and fit Greek yogurt. I'll add some yeast. I'm going to add a little bit of Truvia to it. Of course, I'll add some salt, and I'm going to throw some pumpkin pie spice in. I'm going to add 130 of the Lily's dark chocolate baking chips. I know 130 is a very specific number, but I wanted to keep the bagels at 3 points a piece. So in playing around in Recipe Builder, 130 is what got me to that number. And then I'll also add 2 cups of the self-rising flour. So let me get all of this mixed together and I'll show you what the dough looks like. So I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. I went ahead and got the flour, the salt, the yeast, and the pumpkin pie spice mixed together. And what I'm gonna do now is take about a half a teaspoon of my dough mixture, or my flour mixture, and add it to my chocolate chips and just kind of toss it around. I learned this, I'm going to actually do another half a teaspoon. I learned this watching Ina Garten on the Food Network. She says that if you toss your, if you're going to add chocolate chips to a dough or something, to help keep them from sinking to the bottom, add a little bit of flour to them, and that'll help hold them in your dough. So I'm just going to throw those and the yogurt in, and then I'll show you guys. Okay, so this is what my dough looks like now that it's done. I just mix it in my stand mixer with the dough attachment, and I added probably a half a cup, maybe a little over a half a cup of water, and I just let it go with the dough attachment until it starts to pull away from the sides of the bowl. I'm going to wet a dish towel and put it over it to cover it and let it sit here on the counter for the rest of the night, and then I'll stick it in the fridge and then show you guys tomorrow the bagel process. Okay, so I just grabbed my dough out of the refrigerator, and what I'm going to do is dump it out of the bowl onto this plate, and that will tell, I'm going to weigh it and see how many ounces total of dough that I've got, and then that way I can figure out how many bagels I can get. I'm gonna, you know, like maybe each bagel's 4 ounces or whatever. That way I can put the serving size in my recipe builder, or my quantity in the recipe builder. So let me weigh that and I'll show it to you guys. Okay, so I ended up with 27.09 ounces of dough, and I know that I want to make at least 16 bagels, so I divided that 27.06 or 09, I can't remember what it said a minute ago. I divided that by 16, and it comes out to 1.69 ounces. So what I'm going to do is, let me tear that out. Oh, well, I guess I should put that on first. So I'm going to portion out, I got that one a little too much, so I'll have to reduce that here in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and just portion out 1.69 ounces of dough, and I will put them in my bagel mold and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so I was going to show you how I form these into the bagel shape. I take just my measured out amount of dough, and I just kind of roll it into a log. I use just a little bit of flour here on my surface just to help keep it from sticking. And then I lay it here in my bagel mold, and I just kind of, it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but you get the idea. I just kind of pinch my seam together there and kind of put it in my bagel mold like that. And then I'll pop these in the oven I'm going to go for like 15 minutes and then I'll check them and either add a few more minutes or go ahead and pull them. But I'll let you know. Okay, so all of the bagels are done. They've all been out of the oven for a little while and put on a cooling rack. The very last thing that I like to do is put them on a baking sheet. I just line it with aluminum foil just to help with cleanup. And then I make an egg wash. It's just one egg that I broke up with some water. And I'm going to brush that on all of the bagels, pop them back in the oven for like 2 minutes. That's just going to give them a really pretty color and a little bit of a shine. That's totally an optional step. You can totally just eat them as they are right now, but I like to make them look a little bit shinier, and I'll show you guys what that looks like when I get them out of the oven. And this is what they look like straight out of the oven. You can see they've got a little bit of a shine to them. The color is really pretty, and they smell really good. I can't wait to try them. So they came out to 3 points per bagel, and I wanted to show you guys, I think I accidentally called this a bagel mold earlier. It's dirty from where I've been using it right now, but it's actually a donut mold I got from Amazon. That's what I make my bagels in, just so that I can get the same size every single time. So, like I said, they're 3 points a piece. I'm going to pair them with a tablespoon of whipped cream cheese. I'm going to stir in a little bit of pumpkin pie spice into my cream cheese, put those on it. I'm going to have some Canadian bacon and some fruit, and that will be my breakfast. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification, and YouTube will notify you every time I upload something. Have a good week, guys.